On the 10th of June, a fatality incident occurred where a contract worker, John Blaauw, was overrun by fire. It's important to analyze this incident from a lessons learned perspective and try and understand the circumstances under which this occurred. Any incident is important to unpack after the fact to try and see what you can take from it and how you can apply that knowledge moving forward in terms of whatever role you're playing on the fire line. So what we're going to be going through now is a sequence of events told by the supervisor who was here on the day, and he's going to explain to us the different elements of what happened, and we're going to try and unpack what happened in terms of this incident.
Okay, the previous day we had the fire quite a bit northwest of the specific area the incident happened. Tried to contain it. It was still not in the plantation, but with the strong easterly winds, it pushed it down into the plantation. It crowned and it ran. Then at a stage we tried to hold it on the north side of the main Bokopie road, and we were quite successful. It didn't crown all the way. It dropped down underneath the canopy. It was manageable. And we had about 8 houses on the bottom that was in danger, so I pulled down there with my team and 2 fire tenders, and we secured the houses. And when the houses were safe, I went back up to see on the left flank, higher up on the line, what's happening there. And when I got there, the weather picked up. We got a bit of a wind gust, but the fire was underneath the trees in the pine brush, and it was heading away from the people. So where this incident happened, it was a bit of a slope, and then about 20 meters down the slope was a road on which they tried to tie the fire down. Then it went up in the brush onto a side road, and that road went to the main Bokopie road where the truck was standing, and the guy was the driver of this truck. When I got there, I stood on the top with Marshall, and I contacted my guys, and they said no, they're done there, they're on about out. And out of nowhere, it was the fire just shot into the crown. Now normally a fire don't shoot into the crown without a fuel ladder or extreme conditions, but the conditions were not that bad. And it just shot up, and the moment it shot up with the intensity, it pulled uphill. So the guys who were on ground teams who were on the line immediately turned around and they ran for the top road. There was a bunch of guys from the fire brigade, quite a lot of people on the main road. And the moment it started crowning, everybody ran out, got into their vehicles. I shot out to the top, and when it was safe, when it dropped down again, I came back. Everybody ran out. We found where everybody gathered where it was safe. And then I checked my guys who were with me at the bottom, and they said, no, all of them are there. And then some of the other teams came to me. It's also a silviculture contractor for us at MTO. Said, no, they're missing a guy. So one of the labor came to me, and he was the guy who saw him last.
Can you take us back to the 10th of June 2017 and explain the series of events from when you arrived at this position, you left your vehicle, and you went down onto the fire line?
When you are here, one of the leaders tell us to go to help down there, and to go down right to here, to reach that second road down there, where we are standing there, to go in. I was just going in with my team, but I see that we can't do nothing here because trees are laying down, everything cut. I said, no, the driver of us, he comes there to me. I said, no, just go back to the truck because we can't do nothing here. The driver not coming back. He was just coming. I don't know who was turning around. He goes to the other supervisor was standing that side.
All right, can you tell me a little bit about your assignment, what the fire line looked like, and your experience of what happened in this area?
When we were here, when the fire was coming here, we are trying to make a fire belt here, but these trees were laying here, this one, because we're green. So we say, no, we can't do nothing here. I can't do a fire belt here because these trees are blocking me. No, the team must go out.
From your perspective, where were you standing and what did you see? Where was John standing? And from when the fire picked up, which was the path that he would have taken from there?
When I was standing down there, I see the fire was coming to us, but you can't do nothing there. And then you take the guys and go out. When we were on the road, the fire was still coming. When John was standing here, some of the other guys here, When they come to the road, the fire was spotting right at my back on this side. When they go to distinguish that fire, when they come, they go back. When they turn back, they see the fire was reaching the road. They can't go forward. They tend to go up on this way. I don't know if they can go that way. They won't reach that. They would be safe on that. But they take this road to go out.
All right, so as the story's been told to us, John was standing approximately on the corner of that road there when the wind came through and stirred the fire up, and the fire started running upslope, and the crew had to flee for their lives. The approximate path that John and the crew would have taken is from that corner. They would have followed that steep ridge line up towards the second road. The reason they wouldn't be able to come directly across this road is the fire was already running through here, so they would have had to run up the slope to that second road, and then his final path was across towards the vehicle. The following footage you're about to see is a simulated run up the slope which John and his crew would have had to taken to try and get to safety. Now also try and imagine what the vegetation and the footing would have been like. The fire hadn't moved to this area yet, so making it even more challenging would have been the pine needles and the slash that was on the ground. And also the perspective, the slope is quite a steep slope, so making the final trip quite a tough and harrowing one. And then you add in the conditions in terms of the smoke and the heat and just the intensity of the situation. So try and think about yourself in that position and what it would be like. If you could just explain to me where John was before the blow up of the fire occurred, and then which path he would have taken to get away from the fire. And once he reached his position on the road, what were the fire conditions like? What was the fire doing at that time?
From now today, while I'm standing here, what I've heard from my foreman, my supervisor, what he told us is like what I saw when they ran away from the first road down there. As he said, when they reached the fire, that road here, the fire was close to them. And when John and the other team was still in the middle to come up here, and he was on the last side of the running line, because of he also like to destroy. He's not a person who can run for something. He want to make sure, but unfortunately, he ran that way. He could survive when if he could take that road down there, he could survive. But what I think is like he was knowing the truck standing in front of him, and he have to save the truck. Even he didn't mind of his own life. As a person which I know like this, he will either try and save the truck. And I think, yeah, he was forcing his way through the smoke up to the truck, and the smoke was pulling him down here. And that's where he was found lying. The fire didn't burn here in the road. It is just this fire on top of the tree. It was like a tongue which is pulling, and that tongue was burning this log. And as you can see, that log is burnt like all over, and it is burnt onto the ground, into the soil. After this incident, I instruct my people to be aware on the fire and at work, whatever they do, safety must be first. And what I've learned also from Labor Department, that they told us that the tree can be replanted, anything can be replaced, but a life you can't replace. We go through something so bad, you know what, even like today, it is a review and it is replaying in my life, and I feel still in my spirit, if I could do something better, I will do it. If I could bring him back, I will really bring him back, because he was my #1 worker. Even in the morning, if I'm sleeping, he was there to do my work for me. So yeah, we have to look after our workers. On the end of the day, they are human beings like us.
Wildland firefighters have a safety code which helps to guide them during operations. This is made up of the 10 standard fire orders and the 18 watch-out situations. And these, along with other safety guidelines, can be found in the Incident Response and Fireline Safety Pocket Guide. Let's go through the 10 standard orders seemingly not taken into account in this incident. Obtain current information and regular updates on fire status. Initiate all actions based on current and predicted fire behavior. Determine escape routes and safety zones. Establish lookouts in potentially hazardous or dangerous situations. Remain in communication with your crew, your supervisor, and all adjoining resources at all times. And last of all, once you've made sure all the others are in place, fight fire aggressively, having provided for safety first. Of the 18 watch-out situations, the following weren't identified or taken note of. Safety zones and escape routes not identified. Terrain and fuels make escape routes difficult. Unfamiliar with weather and local factors affecting fire behavior. Uninformed on strategy, tactics and hazards. Fire not scouted or sized up. Constructing or working on fire line without a safe anchor point. Working a fire line downhill with fire below. Unburned fuel between yourself and the fire line. Weather getting hotter and drier. Wind increases and/or changes direction, also dust and/or fire whirls occurring. No communication link with crew members, supervisors, or other resources. The 10 standard orders and the 18 watch-out situations can save your life, but only if you are aware of them and aware of how to apply them. Target fixation, tunnel vision, and fatigue can lower your situational awareness and result in you overlooking your situation and tactics. Have a lookout and someone assessing the assignment, and constantly ask, are tactics right for current and forecast conditions?